Hello there, my name is Kuma, and 2 years ago I started collecting data for my recruitments in Arknights. So today I will show you how many times each tag appeared, how many times I got each operator, and of course how many yellow certs I made. And to make it even more fun, I will compare the first year to the second. We begin by looking at how many recruitments I did in total. 1932 in 2022 and 1871 in 2023. The difference here comes from the randomness of the credit shop, because in both years I bought all the recruitment permits from both here and the green cert shop, and of course I spent all of them by the end of each year. But you can't buy the same amount every day. Also, maybe there was some difference in the amount we got from event shops as well. But that's not very important, so let's move on. I will be talking a lot of numbers, so look at the screen if you want to follow. When we account for the total 3,803 recruitments I did, 2,741 of them were 3 stars, the most common rarity. This closes in 72% of the total recruitments. This is not very far from the amount I found last year, so I can still say 3 stars appear 70 to 75% of the time, with some variance, of course. Just in case you are curious, my 3-star rates went as low as 62.7% in June of 2023 and as high as 78.3% in the next month, July. Everything else, even in the previous year, was in between. 4 stars went the opposite way and finished the year almost 1% lower than 2022, but still sitting at a comfortable 25.71%. When adding the count from both years, I got a total of 996 4-star operators. The all-time high was 33.1% in June of 2023, same month as the all-time low for 3 stars, and the all-time low was 20.6% in October of 2023. I got a few more robots in the second year, and thanks to that, my Justice Knight is now max spot. But I still have a long way to go with Freestone. I got no 2 stars, since I finished their max spotting in the first year, I had no reason to go for them. As for my 5 and 6 stars, I got a little bit less of each in 2023, 15 5 stars compared to 24 previously, and 3 6 stars compared to 5. I did skip a top operator tag once in each year to get a 5 star from the other tags that came with it, and most of the 5 stars came without a senior operator tag. But I will show the tag count in a moment. We will get there. The truth is that you can't expect much from 5 and 6 stars in the recruitment, since their chance is so low you are swimming in variance. Some people might get 40 in a year, and others might see 0 of them. I heard some players in the community worried about the dilution of the recruitment pool affecting the rate of 5 stars because some combos don't work anymore, but unfortunately we can't come to conclusions with numbers as low as thousands. We would need millions of data points to have any clue, so I can't comment on that. Although considering how many 5 stars I got without guaranteed tags, I wouldn't be worried about it. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. As we all should know, the important part of the recruitment are the yellow certs, and what really affects the yellow cert count at the end of the day are the 4 stars. Now let's have a look at some other fun statistics. Number of refreshes, expedite plans used, dropped tags, and of course, the most common operators. Combining both years, I refreshed a total of 2,089 times. I play with a normal 243 base with all the buildings at max level and assistants giving 40% refresh speed. That means I get basically 3 refreshes a day. The only reason the numbers are different from each year is because of me forgetting to refresh sometimes and capping the 3 refreshes for a few hours. I used way less expedited plans in the second year, but it wasn't for any particular reason, only 31 of them compared to 259 previously. Now, something interesting I started doing in 2023 was to roll the recruitment with empty tags. Before I used it to roll all the defender and defense tags I saw because I was hunting for my max spot Vulcan, which I finally achieved in February 2023. After that, since I had no other objective beside the yellow certs, I just rolled 9 hours, no tags. I do not know if there is a difference between 740 and 9 hours when it comes to the quality of the pulls, meaning the rarity of the operators you get. I never tested it, but what I do know is that I do not care about the LMD it saves. Look at the numbers. 9 hours is 112 LMD more expensive than 740. Doesn't matter if you get 0 or 3 tags. And the common knowledge is to only roll 740 when you don't have a guaranteed 4-star or higher. But I will overshoot it to the maximum and say I lost 112 LMD on every single pool I did in the last 2 years. Under those conditions, in the 3,803 pools I did, I would have lost this much LMD on screen right now. Which might sound like a lot, but don't forget it. This was 2 years of recruitment, and I'm overshooting to the maximum amount. Do you know how much LMD this is each month? Less than 18k. Less than half a day in the base. Maybe less than a third if you really care about your base combos. And realistically, I would be looking at saving close to this amount on screen, which I got by checking the empty tags I rolled and the basic defense tags I rolled in 2022. That is less than 12k LMD a month. I understand that people freak out about savings and stuff. Arknights is a gacha game after all, it's part of what people expect, but this is not worth it. Even when I look at the 400k I could have supposedly saved in 2 years, I still have more than enough to care. 400k doesn't even max a 4-star operator. But now back to the fun numbers. In case you are curious, out of the 1871 operators I pulled in 2023, 1293 of them were empty tags. Something else that is very interesting is the amount of dropped tags, and that is because the percentage of dropped tags more than doubled for me from 2022 to 2023. But this is a very deceiving number. This clearly happened because I wasn't rolling enough tags to make up for the ones I dropped, increasing the percentage. When you look at the raw values, I dropped less tags in the second year, 120 compared to 159. Even when you compare the total amount of pulls to the dropped tags, I dropped only 6.41% of the total number of pulls in 2023 compared to 8.23% in 2022. And this is all to say that nothing really changed. But it is important to note that I usually roll all the tags that guarantee 4 stars at the same time, so this might yield a 4 or 5 star operator even when some of them drop. I can show you the top 3 dropped tags in each year to prove that. Fast redeploy at 32 and support and shift at 24 in 2022, fast redeploy at 30, shift at 25 and support at 19 in 2023. The same tags, all of them 4-star tags, because I always roll the 3 together. The real number of operators you lose to dropped tags is very low. It just hurts a lot when it happens. And let's be real, it shouldn't be a thing, it just sucks. Now, to forget about those painful memories, let's see who are the most common operators. And this is a very interesting one, because things change a little bit for me from one year to another, so we have some comparisons to do. As I said, I used to roll Defender and Defense tags, so Spot and Beagle are the top of the charts. But something very interesting happened because of this bloated number of them. At least in the first year, the rest of the top 10 shaped around this fact. Most of the 3-star operators are nowhere to be seen. When you look at the top 10 of the next year, it's mostly 3 stars. But this is only because Spot and Beagle combined stole all the numbers of the 3 stars. When I put the numbers on screen, you can see that it makes more sense. That's a lot of Spots and Beagles. Now, if we extend the list to the top 20 most common, we will find more cool stuff. First is the amount of 4-star defenders I got in 2022, thanks to all the defender and defense tags I rolled. Second is that clearly Gravel is the most common 4-star, and it's not even close. The next ones we will find are Shawl and Rope, appearing in both lists at a very respectable rate. I don't think we can talk about the most rare operators, because obviously I didn't even get most of the 5 and 6 stars available in Recruitment, but just in case you are curious, I will list here all the 5 stars and 6 stars I got in each year. Now the fun's not over yet. Let's look at the rates of each recruitment tag. I have the charts on screen. We can see that most of the tags remained at the same position, or changed a very little, a position or two. But we have 2 big changes. The first one is at the bottom, where Nuker and Crowd Control now are 4-star tags thanks to the addition of Cutter and Click. I expect the rate of CC to be higher than that. The tag didn't have that much time to show up since Click was added in July while Cutter was added in January. But the other change is at the top half of the list. We seem to have gotten some balancing changes here. The DP tag went up and the supporter tag went down. Everything I have to say about this fluctuation is speculative. I have nowhere near enough data to say this for sure, so take this next part as a grain of salt. But when looking at the rates I got for these tags throughout the year, supporter remained at a lower rate after Podenco came out, while DP went up at the same time. I can only imagine this is some change to keep the 4-star rates roughly the same, because when you look at the rates for the healing tag, although it stayed at the same position, it also trended down a little bit. It's just weird to me that DP was the tag that went up, because if you have healing, it doesn't really matter if you get supporter or DP, you'll still get a 4-star. Maybe Hypergriff really wants people to get their Myrtles, I don't know. You can tell me your theories in the comments or tell me how wrong I am. And now, let's talk about the important part, how many certs I made in each year. For starters, I will just give you the full count, but after that we will talk about what you can realistically expect out of the recruitment. For green certs, 29,231 in 2022 and 28,078 in 2023. Just remember that I had a few less pulls in the second year and never forget Variance. For yellow certs, 685 in 2022 and 586 in 2023. My yellow certs went down mostly because of me getting less 5 and 6 stars in the second year, but as I said before, you can't count on those to supply you. So what can you expect? First, you can't quite finish the green cert shop with only recruitment pulls. You need 2600 a month to buy what is important, being pulls and recruitment permits from the second page, but you won't be very far from it. You pull a little bit here and there from the gacha and you will even have some leftovers for materials. By the way, always buy the recruitment permits from the green shop. They pay for themselves and return yellow certs on top of that. If you remember the rates from the beginning of the video, let's overshoot 3 stars, saying they appear 75% of the time, and undershoot 4 stars, saying they appear 25% of the time. And we ignore the other rarities. By buying the 20 permits at 15 certs each, you will spend 300 green certs, and in those 20 pulls, you will get 15 3 stars, which gives you 150 green certs, and 5 4 stars, which gives you another 150 green certs, and 5 yellow certs on top of that. And we know the rates are a little bit better than that because of the charts. And also remember 5 and 6 stars exist sometimes? They also add some yellow certs, which are what we want. So always buy the permits from the green shop. As for yellow certs, you will make more than enough to pay for the whole pool ticket pack twice a year, which doesn't sound like a much, if I'm being honest, but this is from recruitment alone. You can instead spend it on the 5 and 6 stars you want in the yellow cert shop, which we know is a better value, but that's only an option if the ops you want show up in the shop. And in that case, you could buy 3 to 4 6 stars per year, depending on your variance, or 12 to 16 5 stars a year, just from recruitment. In short, expect the minimum and you will be happy if you get any more than that. The worst you could get from recruitment each year would be something close to 28,500 green certs and 475 yellow certs. And yes, that's not enough for the ticket pack twice a year, but you get where I'm at. And that's that. Thank you for watching the video, I hope the recruitment treats you well in the future, and never forget about Variance. I hope everyone has a very nice day. Peace out.